provide you all of the information you will need with respect to the submissions that will be made here today by the Attorney General of the Republic of Liberia. Our special guest today is Councillor Frank Musa. As you all know, he's the Minister of Justice, Republic of Liberia. He's flanked also by the Solicitor General of the Republic of Liberia, Councillor Sabina Cephas. Also here present is the Inspector General of the Liberia National Police, Colonel Patrick Sidu, accompanied by his Deputy Inspector General for Crime Services, Mr. Prince Moba. The two doctors who did the autopsy in the Kuli. We are also here with a host of other officials from the Ministry of Justice. So without much ado, let me now bring on to the podium the Attorney General, Minister of Justice of the Republic of Liberia, Councillor Frank Musa. Welcome, sir.
For the address.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Members of the Fourth Estate, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Today, the Ministry of Justice is releasing investigation findings into the deaths of Kifke E. Lama, Albert Peters, Emmanuel Barton Musa, and George Famboto, who died on the 2nd, 4th, and 10th of October 2020, respectively. Kifke E. Lama and Albert Peters. Kifke E. Lama and Albert Peters left their West Point and Barners Bay residences, respectively, during the morning hours of Thursday, October 1, 2020, and were not seen by relatives until their unresponsive bodies were discovered in the early morning hours of Friday, October 2, 2020. They were found in a blue 2001 Toyota Highlander Jeep bearing license plate number A512984, later established to be owned by Albert Peters. They were both confirmed dead by doctors at the John F. Kennedy Medical Center on October 2, 2020. Consistent with Volume 1, Title 2, Chapter 7 of our Criminal Procedure Law, the Coroner of Mossoraro County, having declared their deaths suspicious, the Ministry of Justice ordered that post-mortem examinations, autopsies, be performed on the remains. Police investigation. An examination of the Lone Star MTN and Orange Core logs of the deceased (2020), the two individuals drove separate vehicles. Kifke E. Lama drove a Kia Sportage Jeep with license plate number A45181, while Albert Peters drove the blue 2001 Toyota Highlander bearing license plate number A512984, in which the two unresponsive bodies of the individuals were found. The two vehicles were later observed parked immediately behind one another on Broad Street, opposite the Sacred Heart Cathedral Church edifice, in front of the building which formerly housed the offices of BVAC. The Kia Sportage Jeep was parked in front of the Toyota Highlander from the early morning hours of October 1, 2020, up to and including the early morning hours of the next day, October 2, 2020. At some point, KPA Lama is said to have disembarked of the vehicle and joined Albert Peters in his blue Toyota Highlander Jeep. 2. That on October 1, 2020, beginning at 8:08 up to 8:40 a.m., several calls are registered between KPA Lama and Albert Peters from and to several locations, including the Goodrich, as Barnabas Estate, Bartown, and Waterside, Monrovia. 3. That the call logs generated from data gathered by the two-core and Masonic craft towers of the two cell phone companies placed the two individuals on Broad Street in the vicinity where their vehicles were discovered from 10:37 a.m. on the morning of October 1, 2020 up to 5:53 a.m. the next morning of October 2, 2020. 4. That though calls placed to the individual's phones in the Broad Street vicinity began at 10:37 a.m. on the morning of October 1, 2020, they reportedly arrived on the scene before 10:37 a.m. as the Monrovia City Corporation parking attendant for the area confirmed placing tickets on the two vehicles on October 1, 2020 at about 9 o'clock a.m. and further observed that both vehicles remained in their positions until 7 o'clock p.m. on October 1, 2020 when he, the parking attendant, left work. 5. That the parking attendant reportedly noticed the vehicle in which the two individuals were sitting overheating. The engine and the air conditioner were on, with the windows covered with steam. He is said to have approached the vehicle at 11 o'clock a.m. and engaged in an exchange with Albert Peters, at which time he told Mr. Peters that his vehicle was overheating. The parking attendant further indicated that he tried to collect the parking fee from Albert Peters, but Albert Peters told him to close his car door. He observed that Mr. Peters' eyes were red and mucus flowed from his nose. 6. The parking attendant confirmed that after 12 May Day, he observed that the car in which the individuals were sitting was still in the location, but the engine was off. He, the parking attendant, left work at about 7 o'clock p.m. That the car washer and private security guard from the Progressive Protection Service assigned in the area confirmed seeing the vehicles parked in front of the former BVAC office on Broad Street from the morning of October 1, 2020 until the car washer and private security guard left work at the close of the business day. 8. That during the early morning hours of Friday, October 2, 2020, at about 2 a.m., two individuals known to police as petty thieves entered Albert Peters' vehicle and stole one laptop, 4 telephones, a pair of trousers containing $30 and some personal belongings. 9. That the two petty thieves confirmed encountering the unresponsive bodies of Albert Peters and Gifted Lama in the vehicle, but concluded the individuals were intoxicated. 10. That the two petty thieves and individuals to whom they sold the items have been arrested, charged, and are awaiting trial. A search of the interior and inspection of the undercarriage of the vehicle in which the individuals were sitting revealed the following. 1. That the vehicle contained, among other things, 2 5-gallon plastic containers filled with gasoline. 2. That the interior of the vehicle showed multiple holes under the back seat about 2 centimeters in diameter. 3. That the under surface of the said vehicle showed multiple leaks on the exhaust system proximal to the catalytic converter, between the catalytic converter and the muffler and other areas distal to the muffler. 4. That there is a large defect on the dorsal surface of the exhaust system about 1 foot away from the area of the back seat. Relevant autopsy findings. Computer tomography scan, CT scan. Post-mortem body computer tomography shows mild putrefaction of the brain and mild autolysis of the soft tissue. There is no fracture or dislocation, no metallic density or foreign body. The following samples were extracted for full toxicology: alcohol, carbon monoxide, hydrocarbon, common poison, drugs, heavy metals, and the findings derived them from as follows. Alcohol not detected. Carbon monoxide positive. Hydrocarbon positive. Common poison drug not detected. Astro content, common poison drug not detected. Kidney heavy metals not detected. The above findings are applicable to Gifted Lama and Albert Peters, except for acidic drug detected in the liver and castrate content of Gifted Lama, which I attributed to a prescription drug. Cause of death. A. Carbon monoxide poisoning exacerbated by gasoline hydrocarbon fumes. B. Fumes from defective car exhaust system, defect in the flow of the car. Conclusion by the pathologist, quote, in our professional and expert opinion, based on the available evidence, the manner of death is unnatural, in parentheses, accidental, unquote. The autopsies were performed, reports prepared and signed by Dr. Benedict B. Cooley, BSc, MB, CHB, MGCP, and Dr. Zobon B. Pater, PSc, MD, MGCP, MWAP, pathologists. The autopsies were observed by representatives from WIPNET, JFL, News Public, Heritage Newspaper, Front Page Newspaper, The News, Inquirer, PGL, Liberia National Police, Ministry of Justice, the Coroner, Independent National Commission on Human Rights, RCR Truth, FM 96.1, and RNGL Press. The death of Emmanuel Barton Musa. During the early evening hours of Friday, October 9, 2020, Emmanuel Barton Musa was observed at the Calabash Entertainment Center, located on the Congo Town Back Road, with some friends. He is said to have consumed drinks containing alcohol and later left for home. He reportedly arrived at his 72nd Queensville residence at approximately 11 p.m. and proceeded upstairs to his bedroom. Later during the night, the security guard found him lying downstairs unconscious, with blood flowing from his left ear. The escape door from his room upstairs was found open. The distance from the escape door elevation to the ground measures 13.1 feet. The deceased was rushed to the John F. Kennedy Medical Emergency and seen at 2:45 p.m. on October 10, 2020, where he was diagnosed with severe head injuries. According to medical records from the John F. Kennedy Medical Center, he started gasping for air at 3:40 a.m. and following 20 minutes of unsuccessful attempts to resuscitate him, he ceased breathing and was declared clinically dead at 4:00 a.m. on October 10, 2020. Again, consistent with Volume 1, Title 2, Chapter 7 of our Criminal Procedure Law, the coroner of Mosorado County, having declared the death suspicious, the Ministry of Justice ordered that post-mortem examination autopsy be performed on the remains. Relevant autopsy findings: massive injuries to the head, chest, and abdomen. No metallic density foreign body found. Cause of death: massive hemorrhage, multiple wounding and soft tissue injuries, and blunt injuries consistent with fall from height. Conclusion by the pathologist: quote, in our professional and expert opinion, the manner of death is unnatural. Further classification of this unnatural death as accidental, homicidal, or suicidal will require further police detective investigations, unquote. The autopsy was performed, report prepared, and signed by Dr. Benedict B. Coley, BSc, MD, CHD, MGCP, and Dr. Zobon B. Pater, BSc, MD, MGCP, MDever AB, both of them pathologists. The autopsy was observed by representatives from WIPNET, GFL, News Public, Justice Forum Liberia, Red Power, 100.3, The News, Inquirer, FIGEL, Liberia National Police, Ministry of Justice, the Coroner, Independent National Commission on Human Rights, the Interreligious Council, and the family. The death of George Famboto. The deceased, George Famboto, was observed driving a maroon Nissan Frontier pickup bearing license plate number at about 5:30 p.m. George Famboto ran into a speed breaker in the rolling dual car, lost control of his vehicle, struck a pedestrian, and landed in the garage of Dr. Joseph T.K. Workers' private residence, about 200 feet from the road. He sustained injuries and was rushed to the Town F. Kennedy Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. Consistent with Volume 1, Title 2, Chapter 7 of our Civil Procedure Law, the coroner of Monserrado County, having declared the death suspicious, the Ministry of Justice ordered that post-mortem examination autopsy be performed on the deceased. Relevant autopsy findings: injuries to the head, chest, and abdomen. No metallic density foreign body. Cause of death: right frontal cerebral contusion and disruption of brain with hemorrhages. Right frontal complex depressed comminuted fracture. Vehicle in head-on collision and side impact with house and road traffic accident. Conclusion by the pathologist, quote, "It is our professional and expert opinion the manner of death is unnatural," in parentheses, accidental, unquote. The autopsy was performed, report prepared and signed by Dr. Benedict B. Cody, BSc, MD, CSB, MGCP, and Dr. Sopon B. Ada, BSc, MD, MGCP, MDever AB, pathologist. The autopsy was observed by representatives from WIPNET, GFL, News Public, Justice Forum Liberia, Red Power 100.3, The News, Inquirer, FIGEL, Liberia National Police, Ministry of Justice, the Coroner, Independent National Commission on Human Rights, the Interreligious Council, and the family. Thank you.
Well, that's the official
So,
update
ladies and gentlemen of
of
the press,
the taxi.
before the Attorney General takes some questions from you, we ask that you raise your hand and then you get recognized for the institution you're from. And then because of the volume of the people we have here, we can only give you an opportunity for one question. One. So please observe the rules. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Can you introduce yourself? Put your hand up for recognition. Well, Mr. Minister, good afternoon. My name is Ronald George, and I report for Smart News Liberia and the Danish newspaper News.tk. My question is, please, you care to share with us the names of some of those family members that witnessed this autopsy?
The autopsies on the remains of Emmanuel Batten Musa, George Amboto were witnessed by family members designated by the widow of Musa and the next of kin of Amboto. Sorry, have their names included in this report. But just as we said, representatives of the press were there. You may also ascertain from them. The one is Springway Newswire and also
Mr. Minister.
in our local parlance, it is said that Hori bus party. That's all. We, like you, were and are interested in findings that are based on thorough investigation. Moreover, specimens, especially the toxicology aspect, had to be from out of the country because we are in the process of building a forensic laboratory. So, of course, with the COVID-19 pandemic and other relevant issues, it slowed us down. But we are glad that we are here today and we are here with the facts.
This is Ali, and I report for Prime News. My question, Mr. Minister, if I heard you right, on Emmanuel Newswap report, you said, in conclusion, the pathologist said the cause of death was unnatural, accidental, suicide, and rest of it. But when you went down, the call for further investigation to be conducted by the Liberia National Police. If that is true, that investigation started or how far is the police with that investigation?
The investigation is on our way to determine whether the death was accidental suicide. Thank you.
Morrison, I report for Shongafa. Well, Jones being released to this report.
I think there is only one way to react to this. A scientific report, to scientific findings, and that is to accept it and applaud the government for doing such a good job.
Yeah, Honorable Minister, my name is Lincoln and I record the independent inquiry will be conducted.
Yeah, so I want to know how this this investigation that have been released that they are tossing.
Okay, Musa?